Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of the Professor's Picks, alongside in the co-captain's chair, the professor himself, Mr. Ken Golden. What's going on, man?
Good morning. Good morning. So, we're actually
it's afternoon. It's afternoon.
Well, yes. Well, sure, but But hey, listen, we're actually recording on Friday, so.
Yes, that doesn't happen all that often.
No, and it's a good thing, because some of these pieces that I'm going to talk about, I have very, very little quantities. So they may be up, they may be gone. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see how the day goes.
Yeah, so just to let everybody know, we're recording this about 4 hours before the video actually goes live at 3 p.m. this afternoon. There's probably a good chance that what Ken is talking about might still be in stock. So
might be, yeah. So that's why I'm mentioning some of these things, which I'm down to like last copies. I think, what the hell? I'll include them, and if they're there, hey, it's a bonus grab them. So I'll mention, and as we go through, I'll mention what they were.
Okay. All right, let's get your stuff up on the stage here.
Ready. Excuse me. There's no pre-orders this week, and I'm not sure that we're going to have any pre-orders for a little while. People are bugging me about OPEF. I don't have any information on OPEF yet.
It's too soon.
Yeah, I'm ADA, which is the distributor for the label in the U.S., they don't even have the information. At least haven't made it available yet. So
yeah, I mean, for folks watching, they only just announced the new album the other day, and the new song was released yesterday. So I would give it a week or two before, because I know the release date is in the middle of October, so
October 11th.
Yeah, give it a week.
I think the label. I don't know if even the label is. I think the band is taking pre-orders on it. So I don't know nothing.
Okay.
When I do, it'll be up on the website. All right, let's hit the new releases first. First thing I have is an archival release from Association PC. Association PC were one of the great jazz rock bands of the 70s, and they're kind of overlooked because really only one of their albums got reissued on CD. They're all available on vinyl. They were a German-Dutch quartet, originally called Association. Then they became Association PC, the PC being the drummer, Pierre Courbois. He's augmented with Jasper Van Hoff, the great Dutch keyboard player, and Toto Blank, the great guitarist. And one other thing, while it's on my mind, Pierre Courbois' son is Baron Courbois, who's the bass player in Blind Guardian. So that's just a little side note. Siggy Bush was also the bass player, and this is an unreleased, previously unavailable, I should say, radio broadcast, Dutch radio from 1972. It's a double CD. Gerd Dudek is added on sax, and there are also two percussionists on here as well, augmenting the lineup. And this is just hot jazz rock. Toto Blank was an incredible guitar player. He had some really cool solo albums. He had Toto Blank's Electric Circus was his band. He had a great album called Spider Dance. Jasper Van Hoff, great keyboard player. Also, if I remember, Jasper was also in Pork Pie. If you like Pork Pie, Association PC is along those lines. As I said, unfortunately, only one of their albums got a reissue. It was one of the Mama Cuckoo, I think it was, and that one had Jeremy Steig on flute, I guess. So anyway, that's the opener, and that's a hot one. GAD in Poland did it. They're that label that did that really nice Weather Report from '71. Oh
yeah.
So it's first, it's not a bootleg or anything. It's great quality, and it's just a shame that their catalog has not been reissued. Great band. Next thing, Two Sides of Peter Banks, getting a domestic reissue. Peter Banks, this was recorded after Flash, after he was in Flash. Incredible lineup: Jan Ackerman, Phil Collins, Steve Hackett, got John Wetton, and you got two of the Flash guys, Ray Bennett and Mike Hoff. honestly, not as good as it looks, but still pretty good. I mean, it's a good album, but you expect with that lineup to be like an unbelievable album.
I prefer the Flash albums personally, but
yeah,
it's still pretty good.
It's worth owning. It's an album. It's worth owning, but you see that lineup and you think, oh my god. But then again, you know, if you remember, I always talk about that Colin Scott album that had that incredible lineup, and it was like the worst album ever recorded. You know. All right, we move on. Blind Guardian, Somewhere Far Beyond Revisited. So there are two versions. There's a CD and a 2 CD Blu-ray. Excuse me. They went back and re-recorded Somewhere Far Beyond. I don't know the reasoning for that. If I had to guess, and this is just speculation, they're doing a Taylor Swift because Virgin probably owns the rights to Somewhere Far Beyond, and this is on Nuclear Blast, so they decided, screw it, we can't get the rights back, we'll just re-record the album. I'm sure somebody will comment and set me straight if I'm way off base. I'm just guessing. So there's two versions, regular CD, 2 CD Blu-ray. It's the album, then a live disc, and then the Blu-ray is, I believe it's live video.
Yeah, those are usually the reasons, as well as maybe they never liked the original production, and maybe it was a, you know, sometimes they want to do with the new and current lineup. It's.
And one other thing I should mention before we move on, I believe this deluxe version is gone already. It's deleted from the distributor database, so the CD is still around, but this deluxe one, I think my guess is they probably made a limited amount, and they're gone. So
whatever you have, that's it.
I don't think I could restock it. So if you're a Blind Guardian fan, you know, don't sleep on that. Okay, Circus. I'm gonna talk about Circus. We got 3 releases here. Circus were considered by many to be the best Swiss progressive band. They were essentially a trio. Marco Soletti, bass player. Fritz Hauser is the drummer, and Roland Fry was the flute player. They play other, you know, there's other instruments going on here, but the music is kind of it's interesting. You hear a little Jethro Tull in there because of the
to me, I always thought they sounded like Nidrolog.
Nidrolog is commonly referred to, you know, referenced. They're very good, and for some reason, GAD's reissuing their albums, but they're not doing Moving On yet. It's coming. My understanding is coming. Circus is the first album. Moving On was the second, and that's considered to be the magnum opus. Fearless, Tearless, and Even Less is the third album. That's a little different. And then they put out this archival live thing. So let's just talk about these quick.
Moving On is one with the light blue cover, correct?
Yes, I believe. Yes,
yeah, that's the one I have.
And okay, that's considered to be the best. But this first album, it's not far behind. This first album is great. Now, Fearless, Tearless, and Even Less it's actually kind of a cool album because Roland Fry is out, and he was replaced by Stefan Amann, keyboard player, and so it changed the sound. It's a little more commercial sounding, a little more traditional prog rock sounding, but it's still a prog album. There's a lot of long tracks on here. It's pretty cool. And I don't know if you remember, Pete, many years ago, I put out a CD by Blue Motion. Remember?
Yeah. Yep.
Blue Motion was an offshoot. It was Stefan Amann, the keyboard player, and Fritz Hauser, the drummer. And then there was another keyboard player. It was 2 keyboard players and a drummer. So anyway, it's not important, but it's just a little take pride in that reissue. And so this last one is kind of an oddball. It's sort of like a greatest hits and unreleased live tracks. And what did they call it? They call it the Remasters 2021 Toronto, New York City, Istanbul. So Yeah, there may be some unreleased studio material in there. But anyway, this is like a big deal because this was Circus was one of those bands that over the years I was always asked about. And for whatever reason, I think it was Marco Cerletti, the bass player. I think he didn't want them out on CD, sort of like Flame Dream, the other Swiss band. And they finally got reissued a few years ago in Japan, and so now they're getting they're calling it like the first European release. It is. So Moving On is supposed to be coming out, I think, like September, October, something like that. So I'm waiting for word on that. We move on. Isn't this a cover? Isn't that a great cover?
Yeah, that's very cool.
So this is one where I don't have many left. I think I've got like 3 or 4 left in stock. Probably be gone today. Exodus. I'm not going to even attempt to pronounce that title. They were a Polish symphonic prog band from the 70s. Bit of like a Genesis and Yes influence in their music. Long tracks. I can't remember his first name. Komandarek was the keyboard player. Great keyboard player. He also had some electronic solo albums. And yeah, they made 2 studio albums, and then years later, Metal Mind put out some unreleased albums. Actually, I think an album from like '77, maybe an album from like '83, but that came out years and years later. So this is a double live CD from 1980, and it's fine quality. And supposedly they're going to be doing some more Exodus material. This just
be confused with the San Francisco.
This is not. don't think. Yeah, this is not the San Francisco band. I couldn't imagine 2 bands of polar opposites with the same name. All right, I brought this in for you, Pete, because I bet you're a fan.
Yeah, I am.
This is a boot. Live Groundhogs from 1972. Tony McPhee, great blues player, and this is live. I believe this is a genuine radio broadcast from Memphis. And, I never had much luck selling Groundhogs over the years. Sold them a bit, but we'll see how this one does.
We just got the ding, so that means people are going to buy it. That's the lucky thing.
Actually, I wish that was the thing. Actually, I told you I'm like the Oracle, right? All day long, people saying, they're in record stores. Hey, what is this? So somebody just dinged me. I don't know. Let's see what album was it? Can I get this? Yeah, something that's on. Yeah, something that's on Apple. Yeah, Steve Hackett, Bay of Kings. Steve Hackett, Momentum. These were his classical guitar albums, acoustic. I think John is on Momentum. Bay of Kings was the first one, and there's some bonus tracks. I'm warning you, they're very expensive. So I didn't make the prices. So, next one, Isobar. Isobar 4. This is great. Did you get this, Pete? Did they send this to you? Yeah. Did you get a chance to listen to it yet?
No, it just came in like yesterday.
You're gonna love it. So there, I believe 2 or 3 of the guys used to be in Metaphor.
Yep.
Right. So California-based band, all instrumental, and we have Matthias Olsen on drums, and it's just solid retro 70s style prog. Plenty of Mellotron sounds. It's just real good stuff. I'm very impressed.
Yeah, their last one was really good. You could almost in spots say that there's a fusion element there, but it's kind of like Finch, that sort of.
Yeah. And Malcolm Smith, the guitarist, at times I hear a bit of like a Hackett influence.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's got that, like with that sustain.
Yeah, I mean that's what Metaphor was all about. They were very much in that Genesis mold.
I like this better than Metaphor. And Metaphor were pretty good.
Yeah.
As far as like U.S. prog bands go, and there aren't a lot, these guys are one of the best. So Very solid, and it's selling very, very well, but we have a nice amount of inventory. This one I'm excited about. This just showed up this morning. Led Zeppelin, live in Alabama, 1973, double CD, fantastic quality soundboard. Based on what I haven't listened to the actual CD itself, it's online. You know, you go on YouTube, you could hear it, and it's great, great quality. So this was supposed to be here last month, and they misshipped me. Mahavishnu Orchestra, double CD, Avery Fisher Hall, New York City, 1973. Also, great, great quality, either soundboard or radio broadcast.
Yeah, I'm sure that's spectacular.
Yeah. Mir's this is a weird band. I have a hard time getting into this style of music. They're a Norwegian band. They're on, I guess it's Apollon.
Yeah.
They're sort of like a quirky mix of like alternative orchestral pop and prog rock. I don't know. You know, I'm more of a retro sounding kind of a guy.
People really dig them, though.
Yes. Yeah, no. You know, not everything I sell is like in my wheelhouse, you know. So,
and they're from Norway. Norway is hot right now. So
yeah. So I expect it will sell well. Ritual.
Here we go.
The Story of Mr. Bogd, Part 1. So, Ritual, Swedish, I think, right?
Yes.
And I always thought they were Swedish. I guess in my quest for perfection, I always screw up every week, and I should have jotted that down in the notes. They're an interesting band. They were around for a while, and then they kind of
Swedish. They're from Stockholm.
Yeah, and then they kind of disappeared, and they went silent. And this is, I think, the first full-length studio album they've done in many years.
2007.
That's many years.
Yeah, and I remember that one. That was the Hemulik Voluntary Band album.
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
Yeah, they used to be on Inside Out, correct?
Yep.
And this is not on Inside Out. This is on again. It's either Apollon or Charisma. They're almost interchangeable.
Charisma, yeah.
Charisma, yeah. They're like sister labels, and what they put out is like it overlaps. So anyway, this is the first part of a concept album. They're kind of like a mix of like prog and folk. I'll give you a broad description to me. Sort of like maybe Flower Kings meets Fairport Convention. I mean, maybe that's a bad description, but yeah, they're an interesting band. I know a lot of people are excited about this.
So just to give everybody a little perspective, one of my writers, Jose, he gave this 5 out of 5 star on our webzine, and Scott Lade has predicted this will be album of the year over at the Prog Corner. So
there you go.
People are digging it.
I got the digital files. I listened to it. I made one pass through it, and I thought it was interesting. You know, they're a little off the beaten path, I think, as far as what they go for. But they're very popular. So there we go. Now these next 4 again are in the extremely limited category. If we don't have a busy morning, we'll be on the website when this airs. We got 4 archival releases from SBB, and yeah, the great Polish band. Some of this is from the documentary film studio in Warsaw, kind of like some of it's sort of like library music, but there's a lot of long tracks on here, 16-minute tracks and what have you. And my God, I went on Discogs. There are 103 listings for SBB. It's crazy. Everybody always kind of talks about Josef Skrichik, the keyboard player, who was great, but the guitar player, I'll kill his name. Apostolos Antimos, Greek. Guitar, he played guitar. He played a double neck. Played guitar and bass. And he was a monster player. And then he went on when he left SBB. He put out a number of solo albums, and I think he may still be going. If he's alive, he may still be going. I'm not sure. I didn't research it that far. But anyway, SBB, great prog band. I restocked some of the 70s studio albums when we brought them in originally. They sold very, very well. They sold out. So I think people are now kind of aware of SBB. So we brought these 4 new titles in. They went up on the site early in the week, and we're down to like last copies. So they may not be up there when this airs. All right, let me talk about the restocks very quickly. Let me get through SBB. Dream Evil, Metal Gods, German power metal band. This sold out immediately. This was their first album in many years, Century Media, and really underestimated the interest.
Popular power metal band.
Very popular. And maybe, Jim, are they going to make it to Prog Power this year?
Yeah, their visa's got approved.
Yeah, their visa's got approved. How many times did they try?
This is the 3rd or 4th.
Yeah, 3rd or 4th time where they were booked for Prog Power and they couldn't get in because of visa issues. So if you're going to Prog Power, you'll see them in September. This is a great one. Masabumi Kikuchi, One Way Traveler, the great Japanese keyboard player. Kind of like a parallel to like Teramasa Hino, Double Rainbow. That period. It's Kikuchi was a phenomenal player. He passed away some years ago, and he was making like jazz rock albums in Japan. Then he started doing like full-on electric albums, and he had 2 great ones, Susto and One Way Traveler. If you like that Electric Miles sound, great record. And Japanese release at a budget price. So we've had it over the years, but we stopped it. If you like all those Japanese jazz albums that I was offering, was it last month? You know, this is right in wheelhouse. And by the way, I'm still trying to restock those. So I should have some news on that soon. Spec, ein guter Ries. So I mentioned this I think it was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. German trio. They're like the second coming of Ashra Temple. This thing is just absolutely face-melting trio. And the funny part is, Pete, the guitarist saw the comments and commented himself on the professor's picks, you know, and he had never heard Ashra Temple. And he went and listened, and he's like, we do sound like that. He heard it. He heard it right away. So, and he's like, yeah, I got to tell the drummer, you know. So anyway, this is... We
are influenced by a band we've never even listened to.
We've never listened to, and really good. I got another one coming. Have you ever heard of Acid Rooster?
No.
Isn't that a great name?
Second cousin to Atomic Rooster?
Yeah, Acid Rooster, right? They're on the same label, Tanzanin. I'll be getting that in the next few weeks. I already have the copies reserved. It's kind of along these lines. But anyway, Spec is like instrumental, heavy guitar, bass, drums, emphasis on guitar. So real face-melting stuff. Restocked Robin Trower, Bridge of Sighs, the 4-CD 50th anniversary edition. One of the greatest albums of all time. Vinyl. We got in Kozasui from the source on vinyl now. We had the CD. The vinyl was a bit late. Great band. They sort of went from like a heavy psychedelic sound to incorporating like jazz rock elements to their music. I skipped over the JPEG of Ritual. What happened to Ritual? Ritual's gone. I have Ritual, the Story of Mr. Bogue, Part 1 on vinyl as well. We got Steve Hackett, Bay of Kings, Momentum. Oh, there it is. I'm in order. Yeah, alphabetical. Okay. And there we go. And that's what I got this week.
Cool. Sounds good. It's a little closer. There we go. So we'll have everything posted down in the comments as always, right at the top. So go ahead and head over to lasercd.com and copy and paste to your heart's content. But make sure you peruse the whole main page because there's stuff all over the place and all sorts of cool little sections. So make sure you pop in and investigate everything. And like Ken mentioned, don't wait on some of these things because he's got limited quantities on some. So if you're watching this right around the time when it premieres, you may want to head over to lasercd.com before 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to grab whatever might be left. So,
yeah, particularly Exodus and the SPBs. Those are the ones we're just about at the end there. So
it's cool. All right. Well, happy shopping, everybody. And we'll see you next week here on the Professor's Picks. Visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube all together all the damn time. Stay tuned for 4 People Friday coming up tonight. We've got Jamie Laszlo and the review crew coming up tomorrow with special guest Todd Latore from Queensryche. And then on Sunday, George Lemie, Eric Porter, and myself will be ranking the albums of Simon Phillips' Protocol. So lots happening this weekend. Stay tuned for all of it. For Ken Golden, I'm Pete Pardo. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. See you next week here on the Professor's Picks. Take care.
Here.